Very good morning, students. Today we are starting a new chapter, that is environmental chemistry. Environmental chemistry. This chapter is completely deleted in first PU board syllabus, but competitive questions from NEET and JEE examination, we are expecting one question. That's why we are discussing theory part of environmental chemistry. After that, objective question NEET and JEE point of view we are discussing. This chapter importance is, this is a very easy chapter when compared to all the other chapter in your first PUC syllabus. Compulsory one question from NEET and JEE point of view also. Even dull student, average student also can answer this question from this chapter. That's why more concentrate, easy chapter, compulsory one question. After completion of this chapter, you can revise the videos 1 or 2 times. You will be able to answer the question from this chapter. Okay, introduction student. First one, environmental chemistry. What is environmental chemistry? Definition we are discussing student. The branch of chemistry which deals with sources, reactions, transport, effects and fates of chemical species in the environment and effect of these chemicals on human activity are called environmental chemistry. Environmental chemistry. We know the students, some chemical species causes adverse effects on the environment. Adverse means bad effects on the environment. The sources of the chemical species, the reaction of that chemical species, transport of the chemical species, effects of the chemical species, fates of the chemical species in the environment, and effect of these chemicals on the human activity are called environmental chemistry. Environmental chemistry. Once again student, the branch of chemistry which deals with sources, reactions, transport, effects and fates of chemical species in the environment and effect of these chemical species on human activity are called environmental chemistry. Okay students, next one, terms used in environmental chemistry. There are some terms students we are using in environmental chemistry that we are discussing one by one. Like this, some terms are there students: environmental pollution, pollutant, types of pollutant, contaminant, source, sink and receptor. Like this is there, one by one we are discussing. First term student, environmental pollution. We know that pollution means undesirable changes in the environment. Bad changes in the environment are known as pollution. We are using water pollution, water soil pollution. Thus pollution means undesirable changes in the environment. The definition can be as follows: the undesirable changes takes place in the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of environment that have harmful effects on the plants, animals and human beings are known as environmental pollution. Undesirable changes student, we are not expecting that change. Undesirable changes, desirable means required that changes, undesirable means we cannot require that changes. For example, the percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is 0.03%. If it is more than that, that is undesirable change, that is harmful. That is once again student, the undesirable changes takes place in the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of environment that have harmful effects on plants, animals and human beings are known as environmental pollution. Anything required amount is there, there is no pollution. More than that is there, and the environment will get polluted, because the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of environment changes that have harmful effects on plants, animals and human beings. Clear student? Right. Lastly, once again, the undesirable changes that takes place in the physical, chemical or biological characteristics of environment that have harmful effects in plants, animals and human beings are known as environmental pollution. Second term student, pollutant, the substance which is produced either by natural source or human activity which causes adverse effect on environment are called pollutant. Pollutant means the substance which is produced either by natural sources or human activity, either by natural sources or human activity which causes adverse effect on the environment are called pollutant. Here students, some substances are produced by natural source, for example carbon monoxide produced by natural source, or human activity, the same carbon monoxide produced from factories also, which causes adverse effect. Student, adverse means very bad effect on the environment are known as pollutant. All the substances are not pollutant. The substance which causes bad effect on the environment are known as pollutant. The pollutant may be produced by the natural source or produced by human activity. Whatever may be they can causes bad effect, means that can called as pollutant. Once again student, the substance which is produced either by natural source or human activity which causes adverse effect on the environment are called pollutant. Next one student, types of pollutant. First one is primary pollutant. The pollutants which are emitted directly from the source and exist as such in the environment are called primary pollutant. The pollutants which are emitted directly from the natural source or source and exist as such in the environment are called primary pollutant. For example student, carbon monoxide obtained by the incomplete combustion of the fuels, nitric oxide, dust and smoke is obtained from cigarettes as well as the factories also. Dust is also produced by the cement factories. All these are obtained from the source and exist as such in the environment. Carbon monoxide, nitric oxide, dust and smoke does not changes further. They can release and exist as such in the environment. Hence that is known as primary pollutant. Once again student, the pollutant which are emitted directly from the source and exist as such in the environment are called primary pollutant. Right students, next one, second term used in environmental chemistry, secondary pollutant. The pollutants formed in the environment due to chemical reactions among primary pollutants and constituents of atmosphere are known as secondary pollutant. The pollutants formed in the environment due to chemical reactions among primary pollutants and constituents of atmosphere are known as secondary pollutant. Examples are sulfur trioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ozone and PAN. PAN stands for peroxyacetyl nitrate. Here SO3 is a secondary pollutant obtained by the reaction of sulfur dioxide with oxygen. It can form sulfur trioxide. Primary pollutant react with oxygen, secondary pollutant. Primary pollutant react with atmospheric gases to form nitrogen dioxide. Therefore, SO3 and nitrogen dioxide are secondary pollutants. SO2, nitric oxide are primary pollutants, and oxygen are constituents of atmosphere or atmospheric gases. In examination, comparative point of view, how they will ask student, which of the following is the secondary pollutant? SO3, NO2, O3, PAN, all the above. Therefore, all the above is the correct answer. This example you can remember student, full form peroxyacetyl nitrate. How it is prepared, why it is secondary pollutant. In detail we are discussing further topics. Some preparation of peroxyacetyl nitrate is also there. harmful effect is also there. At that time in detail we are discussing. Until you remember, PAN is a good example of secondary pollutant. The full form is peroxyacetyl nitrate. Next, third term student, biodegradable pollutants. Biodegradable pollutants. The pollutants which readily undergo degradation, by natural process, are called biodegradable pollutant. Examples are domestic waste and discarded vegetables are good examples of the biodegradable pollutants. For example, discarded vegetables you can consider, student, in our household purposes. After discarding the unwanted vegetable pieces, they can undergo degradation by natural process. They can undergo degradation or decomposing by natural process. We are not using any process. Similarly, domestic waste. After cleaning the room, some waste material is coming, that is known as domestic waste. That is also undergo degradation by using normal natural process. Hence, this type of pollutants are called biodegradable pollutants. Discarded vegetables also causes pollution. Domestic waste also causes pollution, but they can easily undergo degradation or decomposition by natural process. Hence, these pollutants are known as biodegradable pollutants. Once again, student, the pollutants which readily undergo degradation by natural process are known as biodegradable pollutants. Examples are domestic waste and discarded vegetables. Fourth one, student, non-biodegradable pollutant. Fourth basic term, non-biodegradable pollutant. The pollutants which cannot undergo degradation by natural process are known as non-biodegradable pollutant. The pollutants which cannot undergo degradation by natural process are called non-biodegradable pollutant. Examples are plastic. We know that the plastic covers, once manufactured, for the degradation of plastic or polythene covers, it will take years together. Hence, that is non-biodegradable pollutant. DDT, diphenyl trichloroethane, which can act as a powerful insecticide to kill the insects. Insecticide means to kill the insects. It is also, once prepared, once we are using, it does not undergo degradation. Sometimes we are using DDT powder to kill the insects in our surroundings, but it is banned because of some reasons. It is a non-biodegradable pollutant. Even though it can act as insecticide to kill the insects, due to its non-biodegradable nature, we are avoiding this DDT. And toxic elements like lead and mercury. Once lead and mercury will be manufactured, it does not undergo degradation by natural process. Years together it will be survive, hence it will be toxic elements. We know that lead is highly toxic and mercury is also toxic in nature. The good example is plastic pudding. Once the plastic material is manufactured, it will take so many years for the degradation of that plastic material. By natural process, it does not undergo degradation. Therefore, the pollutants which cannot undergo degradation or decomposition by natural process are known as non-biodegradable pollutant. Plastic, DDT and toxic elements like lead and mercury. Third term, student, contaminant. The substance which is not present in the nature but it is introduced into the environment either accidentally or by human activity are called contaminant. The substance is not present in the nature, student, but it is introduced into the environment either accidentally or by human activity are also known as contaminant. It can also cause environmental pollution. Fourth term, student, source. The site from which pollutant originate are known as the source of pollutant. For example, student, we know that source means origin of the substance. For example, the source of rice is coming from agriculture. Similarly, the source of the chemicals or the source of the pollutants can be defined as the site from which pollutant originate are known as source. For example, fuels are the source for carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. Carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. We know that by the combustion of the fuels, carbon dioxide is obtained as well as sulfur dioxide. Hence, the source of carbon dioxide is fuels. The source of carbon dioxide will be fuels. Next one, student, sink. The medium that consumes pollutant are called sink. The medium that consumes the pollutant are called sink. For example, trees are the sink for carbon dioxide, groundwater sink for pesticides used in agriculture. For example, student, we know that the carbon dioxide is released from the industries as well as the combustion of the fuels, petrol and diesel. If the amount of CO2 increases more than 0.03%, then pollution will be increases. At the time, the trees absorb carbon dioxide by using photosynthesis process. We know that CO2 plus 6H2O gives rise to carbohydrate plus water molecule, carbohydrate plus water molecule plus oxygen molecule. That is known as photosynthesis process. In photosynthesis process, the advantage is the excess amount of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere can be absorbed by the trees for the preparation of the glucose molecule. That's why trees consumes pollutant, that is carbon dioxide. Therefore, trees can act as a sink. For carbon dioxide. Similarly, groundwater, student, we are using so many pesticides and chemicals in agriculture for growing crops. At that time, the crops, after using the pesticides, the unwanted pesticides absorbed by the groundwater of the earth. Hence, groundwater consumes the pollutant. Therefore, groundwater can act as a sink for pesticides used in the agriculture. Therefore, the medium, the substance that consumes pollutant are known as sink. Trees are sink for carbon dioxide. Groundwater is sink for the pesticides used in agriculture. Clear, students? Right. Next one, receptor. Anything that is affected by pollutant are called receptor. Any substance that is affected by the pollutant are called receptor. Trees are the receptors for animals. Because animals eat the trees and plants. Hence, plants are affected by the animals. Therefore, plants are the receptor. Here, observe, students, sink and receptor difference. Here, sink can absorb the pollutant. Receptor affected by the pollutant. Sink consumes the pollutant. Receptor affected by the pollutant. Therefore, student, it is about non-biodegradable pollutant, contaminant, source, sink and receptor. Next, students, last basic term, that is threshold limit value, TLV. The permissible limit of a pollutant in the environment that will not cause adverse effect are known as threshold limit value. For every pollutant present in the environment, some permissible limit is there, student. Before that limit, that is just a chemical substance. After that limit, that can act as pollutant and can cause adverse effect. The permissible limit of a pollutant, in the environment that will not cause adverse effect, are known as threshold limit value. For example, carbon dioxide percentage in the atmosphere is 0.03%. 0.03%. It is called threshold limit value. It is called threshold limit value. Below this percentage, carbon dioxide does not causes adverse effect. Above 0.03%, carbon dioxide causes adverse effect. That is bad effects on the environment. This limit is known as threshold limit value. Threshold limit value. Next concept, student, environmental pollution classification. The environmental pollution means the undesirable changes. The undesirable changes takes place in the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of environment that have harmful effects on human beings are known as environmental pollution. The pollution of environment takes place by using four methods, students, that is atmospheric pollution, soil pollution, water pollution and industrial waste. Because of these four, environmental get polluted: atmospheric, soil pollution and water pollution, industrial waste. This is one topic, student. After that we are discussing control of environmental pollution. How can you control environmental pollution? Last topic is green chemistry. With this, this chapter will be completed. Clear, students? First we are discussing environmental chemistry definition, basic terms used in environmental chemistry. Third topic is environmental pollution classification. Each classification we are discussing in detail, student. What is atmospheric pollution and the effects, soil pollution, water pollution and industrial pollution. After completion of this classification of environmental pollution, we are discussing control of environmental pollution. How can this environmental pollution will be controlled by human beings? Last one is green chemistry. What is green chemistry? What are the advantages of green chemistry? We are discussing in detail. Okay, students. First, students, environmental pollution classification. First classification we are discussing, student, that is atmospheric pollution. Atmospheric pollution. Generally, the atmosphere classified into four layers depend upon distance from the earth surface. Distance from the earth surface. The atmosphere mainly classified into four layers. Those are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere. The classification of the four spheres depends upon distance from the surface. Now small tabular form is there, students. Region and altitude from the earth surface, that is height from the earth surface. Gas is present in the particular sphere. Gas is present in the particular sphere. First one, student, troposphere. Troposphere. The distance is 0 to 10 kilometers. 0 to 10 kilometers at the surface, it is known as troposphere. The gases present in troposphere are nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and water vapor. Second, student, stratosphere. Stratosphere altitude from the earth surface is 10 to 50 kilometers. 10 to 50 kilometers. The gases present in this sphere are nitrogen, oxygen, ozone. Stratosphere mainly contains ozone, students. Highest amount is ozone. Due to this reason, stratosphere is also known as ozonosphere. Stratosphere is also known as ozonosphere. In examination, they will ask, student, which of the following sphere is known as ozonosphere? Tropo, strato, meso and thermo. Stratosphere is known as ozonosphere because highest concentration of ozone is present. Mesosphere. Altitude from the earth surface is 50 to 85 kilometers. 50 to 85 kilometers. The gases present in this sphere are nitrogen, O2 plus and NO2 plus. O2 plus and NO2 plus. Thermosphere. The altitude or the height from the earth surface is greater than 85 kilometers. Greater than 85 kilometers. The gases present in this are in ionic form, that is O2 plus, NO plus, O plus and electron. O plus and electron. Here, student, these are the four spheres present in the atmosphere and their distances and the gases present in the particular sphere. One important point, 99% of the atmosphere is below 32 kilometers. Most of the atmosphere is below 32 kilometers. That is, in atmosphere, more important layers are troposphere and stratosphere only. Troposphere and stratosphere only. Due to this reason, under atmospheric pollution subheading, we are discussing tropospheric pollution and stratospheric pollution. Tropospheric pollution and stratospheric pollution. First one, student, tropospheric pollution. Tropospheric pollution. The pollutants present in the troposphere are classified into two categories, students. They are sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and hydrocarbons First two are called oxides of sulfur, second two are called oxides of nitrogen, last two are called oxides of carbon. The last one is hydrocarbon. Sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Similarly, student, particulate pollutants, smoke, dust, mist, fumes and smog. In detail, we are discussing in the further coming topic, students, what is smoke, what is dust and mist and their properties. Now, first, student, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, oxides of sulfur. That is sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. The sulfur dioxide react with oxygen to form sulfur trioxide. The sulfur dioxide can be converted into sulfur dioxide also by using ozone and hydrogen peroxide. Ozone and hydrogen peroxide oxidizes sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide. With ozone, sulfur trioxide plus oxygen is formed. With the hydrogen peroxide, sulfur trioxide plus water can be formed. Therefore, the sulfur dioxide present in the atmosphere react with the oxygen to form sulfur trioxide as well as with ozone and hydrogen peroxide. These are the preparations of the oxides of sulfur present in the atmosphere, that is troposphere. Formation of these oxides of sulfur present in the troposphere. Okay, students. In the oxides of sulfur, some important point, 67% of oxides of sulfur are obtained from volcanic activity, that is from volcanoes, whereas remaining 33% of oxides of sulfur pollutants obtained from human activity. For example, student, in the metallurgical operations, that is extraction of iron, extraction of copper, next year one chapter is the metallurgy. At the time we are discussing. In the metallurgical operations, 33% of the sulfur compounds can be obtained. Similarly, combustion of some fuels containing sulfur. Also oxides of sulfur, SO2 and SO3 can be obtained. And during the preparation of sulfuric acid, also you can require sulfur trioxide. SO3 plus H2O gives H2SO4. Therefore, for the manufacturing of sulfuric acid, also you can require the pollutant sulfur trioxide. Next year, this preparation is also there, student, in P block element, manufacturing of sulfuric acid by contact process. At that time, we are discussing. The basic reaction is SO3 plus H2O gives rise to H2SO4. Therefore, these are the formation of oxides of sulfur. These are the sources of oxides of sulfur. From which source the oxides of sulfur, SO2 and SO3 will be obtained. Next, students, harmful effects of oxides of sulfur, that is sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. First one, student, respiratory diseases like asthma, bronchitis and emphysema in the human beings. As the concentration of SO2 and SO3 increases, which can cause respiratory diseases, that is sufficient oxygen is not available for breathing purpose. Acute irritation to the eyes causing tears and redness. Acute means small, acute angle. Acute means small. Acute irritation, small irritation to the eyes causing tears and redness. Tears coming from eyes and redness is created in the eyes. Higher concentration of SO2 causes stiffness of flower buds, which eventually fall from plants. The flowers are fall from plants because higher concentration of SO2 causes stiffness of flower buds. The stiffness will be decreases. Due to this reason, higher concentration of SO2 causes stiffness of flower buds which eventually fall from the plants. In examination they will ask student, the retardation of the plant growth or the flower buds fall from plants because of which of the following pollutant? Higher concentration of SO2. Very important students, more concentrate. I will repeat once again. Higher concentration of SO2 causes stiffness of flower buds which eventually fall from plants. Fourth one student, these oxides produce sulfuric acid which lowers the pH causing damage to the enzymes. Just now we are discussing student, sulfur trioxide produces sulfuric acid. Then what happens student? Acidic strength increases. The pH value will be decreases. Low acids are having lower pH, which causes damage to the enzymes. In our human body, enzymes will be damaged. That's why sulfur trioxide produces sulfuric acid which lowers the pH causing damage to the enzyme. These are the four harmful effects student. Harmful effects are more concentrate in examination point of view, that is competitive point of view. Respiratory diseases, acute irritation to the eyes causing tears and redness. Higher concentration of SO2 causes stiffness to the flower buds which eventually fall from plants. These oxides produce sulfuric acid which lowers the pH causing damage to the enzymes. Copy this student.